everybody doing today? My name is Steven Rosenberg. This is Ginzburg, and welcome to another great episode of Marketing Success in Under 10 Minutes. Gene, how are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. It's a little warm, but it's okay. I'm sure it's warm where you are as well.
Yes, it is. Very warm over here.
So what do we want to talk about today?
So today I thought it would be really helpful for people to understand how to manage their content. If you're out there as a business or as a person or a personal brand and you're trying to figure out how am I supposed to keep up with all these different social platforms and spread this content without spending a fortune, I think it's really important to go over how you can do that and really maximize your content. So the essential...
I know, like, how do we all keep up with Gary Vee? I mean, it's impossible, right? It's impossible to keep up with him, but we got to do something. We got to maybe make a small dent. We can't create the same amount of content he's creating, right? Exactly. But at least we can maybe do like 1/10 of the size of his content. Maybe just a little bit, just a little.
He also has like 22 people on his team.
You've been listening to his podcast, huh?
That specifically help him, so that's a little different.
I know. He has 22 full-time people who work on his content, just like exclusively on his Gary Vee content. Not like on VaynerMedia, not like on Gary Vee's content. Can you imagine that? 22 full-time people. That's fucking crazy. But he did say that like up until a couple of years ago, it was just him.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's crazy.
Yeah.
So how do we do it? So tell us, Steven.
Yeah. So let's look at it first from a 50,000 perspective, feet in the air perspective first. So you want to get one long piece of content, whatever it is that the topic that you're talking about or whatever your business is related to. Now, whether that's you giving a keynote if you're even at that place, or doing a marketing success video online for YouTube or whatever it is, but you want to try to create one long end piece of content. And then what you do from that content is then you chop it up into different pieces and reuse and recycle all of the stuff from that piece of content and spread it out over the internet and the different social platforms. Because what you're trying to do, and this is the way Gary Vee explains it so brilliantly, is you want to create as little friction as possible between you and whoever's attention that you're trying to get. So if you're trying to get somebody's attention, you don't know if they're on Twitter more, Facebook more, Instagram more, and so you want to spread it all over to all these places, but instead of creating 6 different pieces of content, what you want to do is take one piece of content
and repurpose it.
Exactly, repurpose 6 different pieces of content from that ultimate one.
I say like it could be 10 different pieces of content. I mean, it doesn't have to be 6. It could be 10. It could be, you can probably squeeze 20 out of it if you
absolutely.
If you think that's a good overview. So, okay, so what does that look like? Let's say I'm a business owner, I have a personal brand or whatnot. So what does that look like for me?
Yeah, so, first I think it's important to understand what your goal is in doing that. But ultimately, there's only a limited number of types of content. So you have video content, you have picture content, you have audio form content, you have written content. Maybe I'm missing.
And like I'd say like social media would be considered another piece of content because it's like a short snippet versus like a long blog or something like that.
Well, I don't know about that, just because now like a lot of the social networks are allowing long form pieces of content. Instagram used to only be 60 seconds, but now they're doing IGTV, which is long form video.
Sure. No, I meant like shorter written pieces of content, like shorter snippets of so you take your blog and you chop it up into like maybe 2 or 3 sentences.
Right.
And then that's like a Facebook post or an Instagram post or a Twitter post. Yeah. So that's, I would say that's a 5th one. So I think there's about 5 total in terms of what you can do. So, okay. So share the process.
Yeah, I mean, so the process is basically you would probably want to hire one person unless you're doing this full time for yourself. But you're going to need to get someone to take that long piece of video content that you create. And I think video is the best, obviously, because you can get all of the other ones, all the other forms of content from that one singular video. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel each time. And so you take that, and so you'd first just download the audio component of that, and you could upload it to podcasting networks. You could take images from that specific video that you did, either, freeze a frame at the right time, or like something I've seen you do that I think is very smart is you'll take quotes out of what we talk about, highlight quotes, and then have some kind of graphic image behind it. So it's not your face in there, but it's some, attractive picture that's going to catch an end consumer's attention at least. And then they'll read it and they'll see the headline. So I think that is a really easy way if you don't have a 22-person staff. You can do that with probably one or two people.
I think you can do this all by yourself. Honestly, if you're just getting started, totally doable by yourself. Even Gary Vee says he used to do this all by himself before he got a staff of 22 people. So, absolutely, if you're just getting started, you don't need to produce, thousands of videos a day. You can produce a couple of videos a week, and it's all very doable for you to do. So for example, like right now we're doing a video, and it's a video, but at the same time, we're using a platform called Zoom, and Zoom will automatically create an audio version of this video. So it will, once this video downloads at the end of the session, it will automatically create an MP3 file. So there you go. You have a podcast right there and a video right there. And then besides that, you can, again, create a blog post out of the audio. So what you do is there are platforms out there there's one called rev.com. That's the one I use, but there's other ones. They're basically transcription platforms where you can upload either a video file or an audio file with speech, and it will be transcribed. It's only $1 a minute, so it's not going to break the bank for you. If you do a short video, like a 10-minute video like this one, it's $10. It's not that much, so that it will get transcribed, and they're really fast. Like they usually turn it around within 24 hours, usually less actually. So
now, I have a quick question about that because I've not used that, but it sounds very interesting. Is it able to tell if two people are talking?
Yes, it does. It'll say like, person one, person two. So it will actually break it down. Yeah. So get it transcribed, and then you can have this would be the foundations of a blog post. So like you have to go, of course, and edit it and like make it look more like a blog versus a speaking word. But this is a good foundation. You don't have to sit there in front of a blank screen and try to put a blog post together. So that's a blog post right there. Usually 10-minute video, probably about 1,000 words or something like that. And then you can create snippets for social media out of that blog post. So take out a few sentences, a paragraph out of your blog post, and put it on Twitter, put it on Facebook, put it on Instagram. So there is like 10 pieces of content that you can produce right there without having to produce a piece of content for each specific platform. So repurpose, absolutely.
That's something that's in my blood all the time, being in the recycling industry. So
exactly, recycle. And then the only other thing I was going to add, I know we're almost time for us to wrap up here, but one of the things that I always see issues with businesses is that they create the content, but then they kind of get overwhelmed. So create a content calendar. So and use platforms like I use, for example, Hootsuite to have my team schedule everything for me ahead of time. So that way you're not getting bogged down with like creating content and then having to schedule and having to put the content out there. Schedule it in advance, create a content calendar. I use Trello with my team, and we keep everything organized, and they schedule things out for 2 weeks ahead, a month ahead. So that way everything's already set up and I don't have to worry about it. I just see all my posts on my social media. So any final words?
No, I think that's really helpful. Maybe we can put those links in at the bottom. And as always, if people have other suggestions or other tools that they use or questions that they have for us, we'd love to answer them.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much for watching. We hope you'll continue to get involved and join us as we help you find success in your entrepreneurial journey. Please follow, like, and share with others who will find this beneficial. We'll see you on the next episode of Marketing Success in Under 10 Minutes with Stephen and Jean.